Hey guys, John here. So, a little while ago, I just got finished watching the first episode of the new Disney Plus original series, Diary of a Future President. The episode is titled Hello World, and I wanted to give a few quick thoughts on it. Just a, quick little vlog-style video. Okay, so, this is a series about at the start of the episode, there's this woman played by Gina Rodriguez who recently just got elected president. And her name is Elena. And she ends up getting a hold of this old diary from when she was 12 years old. And this whole idea of her being a future president with a diary is basically appears to be the framing device for the series, which is essentially a bunch of flashbacks where, to her as a child, the 12-year-old girl, kind of showing her life growing up through middle school, maybe high school, depending on how long the show goes on, and just how she ended up where she is, being, the president of the United States, years in the future. The flashback part, the part that the main show focuses on, I know it takes place in the current times because they have, the main characters, they have, smartphones and stuff, so you can see from that it takes place in the current times, and the presidential part, the part which is the president, that takes place however many years in the future. Now, so this show, the first episode, I'd say was alright. Not too bad. Solid start. I think I end up saying that about a lot of shows that I start watching where it starts off kind of okay and then becomes better as it goes along. I could see this being a show like that where it starts off kind of just alright, ends up becoming a pretty good, solid show. A lot of shows did this, shows that I later went on to enjoy. Girl Meets World, Andy Mack, more recently, High School Musical, the series on Disney Plus. That show has gotten to the point where it's pretty good now. I haven't watched all of it yet, but from what I've seen, yeah, pretty good. And I guess this show is doing the same thing now. So, like I said, the show mainly focuses on this 12-year-old girl who has an older brother and mom. She lives with a single mom. Her dad had died some time ago. And she's just basically struggling to get through middle school. There's some comedy, there's some drama, and I would say it's all done pretty well, The actors all do a pretty solid job in their roles. The girl who plays Elena, the main character, she's pretty good. She also has a couple friends. Well, you see, there's this whole story in the first episode where, well, we're introduced to this aspect of her life where she is, has this one friend who, well, I should say this ex-friend of hers who dumped her to hang out with a more popular girl. So you get a little bit of those school show stereotypes that I'm annoyed by, but whatever. I don't think the show is going to rely on them too much. So that's good. I just get the impression that it's not going to overly rely on that. It's going to kind of give these characters more development beyond just kind of being like, oh, the popular girl, that sort of thing. So that's good. I would imagine. It seems like the kind of show that's going to try do something a little more interesting, a little more realistic, a little more well thought out. It comes off as a show that's wants to be a little bit smarter, and that's something I can appreciate. Disney Plus has done a number of good things so far, so I think that being on there could be a side of some decent quality. And, it's Disney. Disney does some pretty good things, So I think there's definitely potential here. So there's the story about, she has this ex-friend who went off to be friends with a popular girl, and there's some, I won't say everything that happens, but basically there's this confrontation that Elena ends up having with her ex-best friend, and this all kind of comes together in this very interesting, kind of enjoyable scene where that has to do with another kind of story that the main character is going through, where she ends up having this problem where she thinks that this school assignment was due in a week, and it was actually due that day. She has to give a presentation, and she basically has to go and it's this actually pretty clever scene where she has to kind of deal with that whole thing, and, that story gets resolved, and it's all kind of well done and clever. Now there's another story where, a subplot where Elena's mom is dating this guy, the first person she's dated since her husband died, and she's trying to figure out how to tell the kids about that. And the episode ends on this kind of kind of funny moment where it's basically like a cliffhanger for the next episode. Kind of one of those sort of zinger kind of moments. And yeah, I'd say the episode is, like I said, it's all right. It's done pretty well. It's filmed well. The production values are pretty good. It's Disney Plus, so they seem to have a pretty high budget for a thing. Look at The Mandalorian, But yeah, it's decent start to the show. I'd give it something like a 6 out of 10. I'd recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it. If you enjoy shows like this, like I said, it's the kind of thing I wanted to talk about because it's the kind of thing that they would probably put on the Disney Channel if they didn't have Disney Plus. So I figure it's the kind of show I talk about, and yeah, I'd give it a mild recommendation.